Okay, well, that was a tough one again. It's kind of getting obviously repetitive the last 3 weeks. The every game has its own story that's written, and you can watch. You can watch the tape. I thought on defense, the elements played to our advantage, and we played well. 205 yards. I think in one of those plays was about a 50-yard gain. So you say, well, eliminate the big play. And I think we could have. I think we had some bad eyes on that play, and man coverage, and give them credit. They made a play, but I was pleased with their defense. Just thought they really competed, and that looks like the defense that we're used to. On offense, it's a repetitive story of skill kids. Too many mistakes, and offensive line, we need more strain. Okay, what I mean by that is the finish blocks, so the back can turn a 3-yard gain into a 13-yard gain. Okay, so until we do that, all these games are going to be tight, and then it's hard to overcome the mistakes, the pick six, and then we fumbled, then had a fumble. We got injuries. Yeah, that's part of it. Okay, you play your backup quarterback. You lose a tight end. Left tackle didn't play again. So in order to overcome those things, everybody up front has got to play with more strain to finish a block, move your feet 2 seconds longer to get the quarterback just a few, just a tenth of a second more to be able to complete the pass. Skill guys, I think, are playing hard on offense and making a few plays, but there's still a back may have a bad track. A quarterback misses a signal coming up the sideline. Now the margin for error is small because of injuries, because of other things. So that's where we are, and that's why these games have been so close. And on the overtime, I've thought about it. Should I gone for two? I thought our defense was playing really well. There was a great chance we'd get a tackle for loss, push the field goal back a little bit. It turns out, we didn't gain a yard on third down on those 3 downs, and then we missed the kick. So we haven't played good on special teams. It wasn't bad, but we missed the kick to get us to the overtime. So that was disappointing as well. So once again, it's a team loss, program loss. We got a good attitude. Kids are still, playing hard, but we just got to strain more at the point of attack on some things, especially offensively. So, come to homecoming week, play SEMO, who's got a lot of momentum right now. I mean, the roles are reversed, I guess, in the last decade, but had a big win over Jacksonville State. Tukes kind of got them playing hard and believing, and we'll have our hands full this week here at home.
Talk a little bit about, is it a situation where maybe just 1 or 2 bounces to go your way to get off the streak right now?
Yeah.
Is it a frustrating thing for your guys, or is it?
Yeah, certainly. No, certainly. And and we'll look back in the season and, coulda, woulda, shoulda. And, but, boy, once again, there's like on the pick JoJo throws, okay, it was a little trickery play, and he's got 2 receivers, and first receiver's running wide open. But because we didn't strain in our protection, then 3 guys were able to get a push, and JoJo wasn't able to get to the guy that was running wide open. So there's things like that. So our kick hits the crossbar, okay, but it doesn't get to that point if on 3rd and 1 one time, we go for it on 4th and 1, we got a guy wide open, hits his hands and falls to the ground. Those are plays that you have to make. So once again, you either got to make the plays when they're there, you got to strain so you can have a dirty run to get to a short down a distance, or you got to eliminate your mistakes. I would prefer to do all 3, and you strive for a perfect game. But, we're not talented enough, and most teams aren't, to be able to have all 3 and still expect to win. That's why you're going to come up short to where we are.
Your guys didn't come into the season looking to be spoilers at this part of the year. But y'all still got a chance to make some noise, to finish out the year with 4 straight wins.
I mean, yeah, you have to look for other goals. You got to refigure your goals. You get a homecoming win the Sergeant York Trophy. all right? Still have a winning record, in the league. So you have to. I visited with some seniors yesterday. Those are the you have to. Most teams in America have to reconfigure their goals, as they get midway point through the season, and unfortunately, right now we're one of those.
What's the status on the dresser right now?
It's on his throwing shoulder. Okay, so I hadn't seen him today, but I think it'd be day to day, but be in the week probably before he gets to move around and do anything. And so that, and I thought JoJo did some good things. JoJo Hudson, when he came in, we knew he had some ability, but there were some first game mistakes that he made. But JoJo will compete and he will play hard. But there's Dresser's probably got 600 more snaps than he does in practice and in the games and stuff. So there's a lot of newness that comes with it.
Which is kind of a reverse from last year, or
Yeah.
similar situation with a new
Yeah.
guy.
No, it was, and Dresser came in and gave us a little spark, and so maybe JoJo can do that as well. So he'll see on the tape today. There's some things that just slow down just a little bit, and there's a couple things he could have done a little bit, but everybody else has got to help him. We got to strain more, like I said, up front. And I think you say, well, you got 405 yards, yeah, but people are averaging 553. Okay, now the wind's going to take, because we were backed up and you're going against the wind, I guess, I don't know, what was it, 2 of the 4 quarters, and so once you got to third down, very difficult to throw the ball down the field because it just took control, of the ball. So that was part of the strategy of that game.
So kind of a situation too where the way the season's going, you feel like you're battling.
Yeah, no, you just keep believing at some point we were going to make that play, we were going to strain on that play to allow us to take finally control of the game. Once again, you had a halftime lead. That's 2 weeks in a row you've had halftime leads, and that's up to me and the kids and the coaches to be able to, okay, how do we what do we need to do to put a game away? Now, you're not really ready to put the game away in the third quarter, but, take control of the game to where, 2 scores is a different deal. 3 scores is very difficult for an opponent. So, once again, it all goes back to you put, you're playing with a different group of kids in some spots, especially offensive line that you didn't think you were going to be playing with due to injuries. You're playing with a different quarterback. Okay, so now the guys that are in there need a strength. Terry Williams. Terry Williams was hurt throughout that game. I mean, he couldn't turn. He got 4 catches, but we would have to take him out because he just couldn't go. He almost couldn't protect himself on the kickoff returns. So everybody else got to pick up his slack, and we just didn't. We did it enough to lose the game in overtime, but maybe a little bit more puts us over the hump.
I think the SEMO team, balanced offense, certainly has been explosive at times, and very consistent. Talk a little bit about what you've got to do against this one.
Yeah, they're like us. They have a schematic defense that they only give you certain runs, certain looks, and they have a philosophy on defense they believe in. So that'll be difficult to begin with. Now, and over the years haven't been very explosive on offense, and so you knew that if you scored 21 points, you were going to have a chance. Now they're scoring points, so they're more explosive. So if you give them turnovers, then that makes them even harder to beat, as Jacksonville State found out this week. So that is our defense to come up with a good plan. It'll go back to turnovers and being able to convert on some third downs, being able to get touchdowns in the red zone. I think the formula is still the same. It's just we have to be able to find the intestinal fortitude to be able to make those things happen. So we don't go back and look on Sunday of, okay, here's same story. You played good enough to be there at the end, but this is why we didn't get over the hump.
And you talk about margin for errors, it's even smaller because they don't turn the ball over very often.
Yeah, we I guess we're now -7. I hadn't looked at it today, but I think we were -5, going into the game. Well, we got 1, I guess, the other day, but they got 2, so I guess we're -6 now. So, yeah, that's an issue. You can't be moderately explosive and turn the ball over, and that's kind of what we are, and that's why we've had some years where we turned the ball over quite a bit, but we were very we were going to score 36 to 40 points a game. Back when Neal was here, Carr was here at the quarterback position. So now, very difficult for us to overcome, 2 turnovers in a game.
You talked in the past about how special homecoming is. Talk about what this week means to you and these guys.
I enjoy it. It's. I just think UT Martin does it the right way. We have great traditions here with the stuff that goes on during the week, with the rope pulls and the different festivals that we have here on campus, or different competitions we have on campus. The walk in the quad. That means a lot to me, and I got to do a good job, make sure this week that the season doesn't take away that from the players, because these are the seniors, last homecoming, and not that we get to participate in anything, but they need to know this is I hope 10 years from now they come back to the homecoming and participate in different things, because I think we do it the right way here at UT Martin on homecoming.
And a football player being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So
that's great. And I didn't get the chance to coach Brady Wahlberg, but I'll tell you this: the first time I met or heard Brady talk was the spring of my first spring here. He was inducted, or he was the male athlete of the year, I believe, and there was a senior program. And I remember him standing up there talking about his experience at UT Martin and the growth that they had from the first year that they got here. I think his senior class, most of them all had to play as freshmen, and they went seasons like we're having right now, but the games were probably 40 points. And they kept getting better and better and better. And so really listening to him, and I'll make sure I tell him this, I don't know if I've ever told him this, but listening to him talk about his experience at UT Martin really sped up my growth as a head coach of what this place was about. I understood the history better. I understood the struggles. I understood what was to come, the type of person and player that you need to recruit here. He really helped me see that in his speech that night. So it was pretty neat. Very good.
Sometimes adversity, shows people's true character. Can you talk about some of your seniors, like Anthony Brown, Nick Thomas, how they've developed into veteran guys that take it hard, but keep the locker room rally, because you can only do so much.
No, you're right. No, I think there's a lot of guys. I was thinking about last night. My wife and I were talking about the wins and losses. That's how you get judged, and I get that. But I think up to this point, there's been guys grow as men in this program. Okay, even without the wins and losses, I've seen some guys grow. And then with the tough season, I've seen some guys that that were too emotional early in their careers. That it was all about them. Grow during this, and they've been able to hold together. And Anthony Brown's one of those guys where he plays hard every Saturday. He prepares, and when you're around Anthony, you wouldn't know if we're in the playoff hunt or we're sitting here where we are right now. So I'm proud of a lot of those guys. I think they've held it together. Now there is a fine line. You've got to make sure that you're not giving into it. You're striving to be straining to be the best that you can. All right, but I haven't. There have been several of our guys, whether it be James Gillian, whether it be Kevin Prather, that they're playing hard for 4 quarters, and I'm proud of those guys. And so, doesn't feel very good right now, but I think hopefully there'll be some success for them in the next month. But there's lessons to be learned. There absolutely, all of us can learn some lessons from how you deal with failure, and it's very humbling, very humbling.
With the possibility of Joe Hudson starting on Saturday, what differences does he bring to the offense that maybe Dresser doesn't?
JoJo's more twitched. He's stronger. He's a stronger runner than Dresser is, and he brings us a lot of energy with that. The problem is you got to be careful that you don't run him, too much. You'll look up and you have run him 25 times, okay? And so that's something we got to be cognizant of this week. And and JoJo can throw the football as well. So he certainly has the capability of being an explosive player, of making plays for us. You got to eliminate his bad ones, all right. But then you worry about behind him. Ty Jobe is a 5th-year senior. And then John Bacchus is a true freshman. So somebody will get those second-team reps this week, because you never know. You one play from going a different direction with your offense.
With 4 games left, does it help that you have that red shirt flexibility as well?
Yeah, we've had some tight end issues, so You know, one of those tight ends, Dial will play this week for us. And then the freshman receiver, hopefully we can get Horton in there this week and stuff. I think he can do some things for us. So there's some other guys. I think those are the two guys that have probably started getting some reps this week with only 4 left.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.